Kasey Hayes is the co-founder of Cure, which is a digital marketing agency based in Richmond, Virginia. And what I love about Cure is how they combine insights with implementation. So super excited to hear Kasey talk about that today. Thanks for joining us today, Kasey.
Yeah, excited to be here.
Yeah. So tell us, what insight was it that led you to ultimately found Cure?
Sure. Yeah. One of the reasons that I founded Cure is just essentially this view of the world of what is marketing? What's the role of marketing? A lot of people feel that marketing is kind of one part of the corporate function that multiple times comes into play as an outcome of something else, like, for example, finance or product development. How we really see the world is that marketing is the hub. It really should be the hub of every business. The insights that are gathered through marketing, both on the consumer facing side and on the internal side, should be what's actually informing those decisions around how are you spending your money as a company? How are you planning? What's part of your strategy? So if marketing is actually viewed appropriately, it very much determines not only your creative, which is the implementation side of what we produce, but also really even your strategic plan. And that's something that we really bring to our work, and is one of the reasons that I started Cure, because I really think that marketing is a much larger solve than how it's typically viewed, and even inspired the name of Cure, which is the notion behind that marketing really can be something that shifts businesses and creates sales in a way that's much more impactful than people might realize.
That's awesome, Kasey. I feel like I've definitely experienced that too in terms of marketing's role and how it's much larger than maybe folks realize. Tell us, for you personally, why did you choose the entrepreneurial path as opposed to one of the other options out there?
Sure. So I certainly started my career more on the corporate track. Definitely wanted to kind of work my way up the ladder in the more traditional sense. But I felt like the more that I learned and the more that I saw, I realized almost, hate to use the word dysfunction, but almost dysfunction that was occurring in the corporate world, and really wanted to kind of marry a lot of the things that I was seeing. And really view, as I said previously, marketing as a holistic function. And in addition to that, I really enjoy being able to, in a sense, call the shots. It is invigorating to wake up and know that you're really the only thing in the way of yourself. And some people might feel that's a big risk, but for me, it's actually really invigorating. And just to know that there's things out there that you can do, and really the ceiling is what you make of it for yourself. And then also just being able to quickly shift and innovate without having to consult, multiple boards and multiple levels. There is a lot of inspiration and innovation that can occur in that small business environment, where you're the one in charge. So it really helps you think through just, what are those things? There really is no ceiling. And that's just something that really inspires me.
So Kasey, what's been the biggest change that's happened in your time at Cure?
So we all know that 2020 is a year where we've seen COVID. It's been happening, it will be happening. And because of that, people are really thinking a lot more about their digital presence. It's one of those things that I think people prioritized previously, but it's really front and center now as people communicate, as people figure out how to work with their teams, how to work with their clients. And obviously, we all know there are platforms out there that do a few of those functions, but we're really getting a lot more requests for, customized databases, delivery systems. Hey, I have this tool. Can you augment it with this platform? So for us, that's really exciting. While we do enjoy building front-end websites, social media tracking, it's those projects where people come to us and essentially say, hey, I have this problem. I really like it solved. Do you guys have any ideas? So for us, that's really our sweet spot. And what we like to do is say, all right, let's go back, look at our tools, look at what we've done in the past, and also new technology that's coming out that we can utilize, and come back to a client with those recommendations. So I would say people are a lot more open to that this year. And that's been something where we've really been able to gain a lot more traction as well. So one other thing that we have been working on this year, to the previous point, is we're seeing a lot of innovation. And one of those things is we recently worked on a proposal for an app with an AI component. So this is just to the point of people's thirst for innovation right now. What we put in, we thought was, and it is very innovative, and we thought the pause was going to be essentially that they were going to want to scale it back. But actually the ask we got was, hey, show us even more how this can innovate and scale and move faster. And to be honest with you, that was a surprise for us, because in 2019, I don't think that would have happened. People have a hunger for digital right now, and also AI. They're trying to navigate that space. They're trying to figure out, what really is this? What can it do? It's a bit of a wild west, as some of us know. So we're working on including that in our recommendations for clients, even if we aren't the ones doing it. We're trying to help folks navigate that space, and make recommendations about how they can really use immersive technology to better their business. And that's also something really exciting, because it's changing every day right now.
So Kasey, what has influenced you most as a leader?
Sure. So it's interesting you ask that. I would say that this might sound negative, but it's not. Essentially, early on in my career, I had a boss who said to me, when I came to her with a lot of ideas and I was really excited about how things connect and all the great things we're going to do together, she essentially told me in one of our one-on-ones that that wasn't my job. I needed to not care about those things, and that I was essentially making her look bad because I was trying too hard.
Hmm.
So, so as you can imagine, that was slightly frustrating for me, because I was coming in, very jazzed and excited about the corporate world and all the great things I was going to do. And that was kind of a reality check for me. And honestly, if I look back, probably one of the first times where I thought, I wonder what I could do out on my own.
Hmm.
And so I think that moment, it's super clear in my memory, and also really inspires how I lead other people. I want to cross train our team. I want to find the right people that are the right fit, instead of just hiring for roles. I want people to point things out that should change about me. I really want to be someone who is candid in what's happening, and is clear with my team about what they can do. And I always want to be someone who is open to receiving new ideas, even if they are potential recommendations of things that are more improvements. That's something I really, really take into consideration and take to heart a lot as a leader. So I would say that is probably something that is always going to remain with me and always influence the way that I hire, the way that I think and talk about other people, about clients. And it certainly made me realize that not everyone thinks the same way I do. And so maybe that's kind of unique.
Well, thanks for sharing all of this, Kasey. It's been really, really interesting. Anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
I would say just a few things about Cure that are exciting, a few that I've touched on, but I love that we get to touch on not just the data and insights part, but then we get to make out of that. So that I love, because I think that there are a lot of people who have an innate talent to want to create. And when you can inform people with data to make those things that they're creating, that they're going to work and that they're going to be powerful and that they're going to actually create sales for clients, that's our sweet spot. That's what we love to do. We like to solve business problems with creative. And I would say that that's pretty unique for an agency. A lot of agencies do one or the other, but I really think we have a knack for pairing them together. So yeah, that's us. And I'm excited to see where we go in the future.
Great. Well, Kasey, it's been really a pleasure to talk to you and hear about the really interesting things going on at Cure, and also your just reflections on the ways that our past shapes us and the ways that our external environment causes the markets to change. Really appreciate you taking the time. Thanks so much. Bye.
Thanks.